So how's everyone doing?
Wonderful.
Good.
Everyone enjoying real estate at the moment when you bring a buyer out and have to compete with 20 other bids?
No.
It's kind of getting frustrating, right? So I always like to do my classes more of a mastermind. So please, 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 I encourage everyone to participate if they can, because I don't like being up on a podium and just speaking. So please engage me with questions if you can. And then I do apologize to everyone that I missed last month's call. So please forgive me. I definitely dropped the ball on that one. So I do apologize profusely, but I'm glad you all made it on this one. So what is the topic of today's class?
How to get listings in this market.
All right, cool. So, you know, what I did was, and this is not going to be a terribly long class because this is just going to be more of an overview of some ideas I have swirling in my mind as to, I guess, different ways to go after listings because, you know, we always hear, you know, go after expired listings, you know, go after your sphere of influence and ask for the business, which, by the way, they are absolutely excellent ways to gain business, although expireds are very, 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 very quickly becoming a thing of the past. So to prepare for this class, I kind of, around 10:30 last night, went and did some research and found some things and ideas that I would like to share with you guys as to kind of different ways or maybe some ways you've already kind of been doing business. But all of these I do know have produced business both for myself and other guys that I kind of mastermind with. And I'm going to end the session here today with a resource that you guys can go to get the technology, the marketing, and the resources to do the things that we're going to talk about today. So I'm not going to just leave you guys hanging like, oh, how do I do this? I'm going to leave you a really good resource, which I know of not a lot, but a couple guys doing at a very, very high level. So who's ready to learn a few different ideas on how to get some inventory? Because I think we would all agree being on the listing side of the transaction in this market is a heck of a lot better than being on the buyer side of a transaction in this market.
Amen.
I'm almost at the point, this is just me speaking kind of out loud, I'm almost at the point of thinking about dropping all of my buyer lead generation dollars and allocating them to the listing side. That's how fed up I am with the buyer side. I'm sending like packages of gifts to listing agents so they accept my buyer's offers. So I don't like doing that, by the way.
That's great.
All right, so I wrote down some notes, and like I said, guys, I'm going to leave you with a resource that I hope you all delve into and check out, because it really is a wealth of not only information, but true actual resources where you can implement some of these ideas. So number one, and you guys may disagree with some of these ideas and thoughts and ways of doing business, and that's okay. But these are ideas and thoughts that, again, I put together for you guys to think outside of the traditional real estate box to gain some different inventory. So number one, targeting divorces. As we all know, fortunately or unfortunately, a lot of people get divorced. These people generally will want to, and many times need to, sell that marital asset in that divorce decree. There are lists that you can buy. And by the way, like I said, I'm going to give you a resource for all this, that you can buy lists of people to target with postcard mailing. And by the way, you could also, through Facebook, I found out last night, target people that are divorced and put out some advertising that will attract them to have you go out to their house to give them, and I know this sounds so simple and rudimentary, but believe it or not, this business is not complicated. This is just a matter of implementation. Going out and giving a free analysis on their home for both husband and, or I should say past husband and wife, to find out what the value is so they can make smart decisions when they put together their divorce decree. And of course, if you're the first one in the door, I think you're going to have a good opportunity to get that business. So that was number one on my list. Any questions about that, guys? Or anyone doing that, by the way, if they want to share? Remember, it's a mastermind.
I have a question. Like, when you say free analysis for the home, what tools I should utilize?
So I use for, great question, by the way. Two tools I would use for a free analysis that I think are incredibly professional and really do impress sellers. I don't know if you guys are using this, but RPR is free to all of us as members of a local board of realtors, and your real estate dues pay for that technology. And it is really, really a 30, 40, 50 page, very technical report. You can argue that somebody, a homeowner, would pay $200-300 for it. It's just that accurate. I would definitely delve into RPR. And I also use a company called Toolkit CMA. That's a little bit more fluffy. It's a little bit more visual with marketing about yourself. So either RPR or Toolkit CMA are both great resources to create that free report.
Thanks.
Yeah, great question, Mohammed. Anyone else have any questions about that?
I do. When you do your advertising, Dan, do you promote on that I'll come to your house and give you a free analysis, or are we just promoting yourself in general?
So there's two ways to, it's a great question. So there's multiple ways to market. One is more passive and one is more, it's called direct marketing. So direct marketing is going after a specific list, whether you're doing it through Facebook or direct mail, with a very specific message to that target market. And again, it's called direct response marketing. And you're trying to put out a strong message for them to call you, to listen to a free recorded message, or if it's Facebook, to go to a landing page, fill out their information so you could follow up with them in the immediate future. Then there is what the other type of marketing is branding. So branding is more passive. It's not a particular, very specific market per se, and it's more about you. It's more about how, I hate to say it, how wonderful you are, how, whatever. It's branding. It's branding yourself. So there's direct target marketing, and then there's branding. It's two separate strategies. I personally feel you should do both.
So in this case, when we're targeting those divorcees, are we going more direct with them?
Direct, very specific message,
Okay.
Getting divorced ? If you want a free analysis on your home, I'm here to help. Simply fill out this form or call this number, and I'll be sure to, set up an appointment to give you a free analysis on your property.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it's great. Number 2 I wrote down was geographic farming. So what I would encourage all of you guys to do, and I would say farming, even though this is a little bit more old school and we've heard about it for many, many, many years, out of all the people on this call, is there anyone actually doing it?
Yes.
No, I mean, I've been wanting to do it for the last 15 years and I haven't.
Dan, I've been doing it for 40 years. It works. It's just
Amen, sister. Amen, sister. Good stuff. And Barbara, if you were to tell the group of agents here on this call today, what percentage of your business comes from your target farm?
Oh, probably 75%.
Good, good. So as Barbara mentioned, farming is an excellent way to drum up business, especially listings in today's incredibly competitive market in this incredibly shrunken inventory that we have. So what are some ways that we could go after a farm? So here's just a few quick items when it comes to farming. I don't want to get too far in the weeds on it, but when it comes to farming, the number one lesson I've learned is don't choose a target farm simply based on where you live, or simply based on, that's a market I want to go after just because it looks attractive. Go into the multiple listing service and do your research. Go back 12 months, see how many homes are selling in that particular farm area. See if it's dominated by one agent or multiple agents. Preferably it's multiple agents and not one agent, because if it's just one agent doing 90% of the business like Barbara Morgan is in Four Seasons, I don't want to go face Barbara Morgan, and if I do, it's going to take me many years to win that market share. So,
Myself real quick.
right, Barb?
Yeah.
So you just want to choose a diverse farm with a lot of turnover, and that's the farm you want to start mailing to. You could create community groups in Facebook that can also help you there. You could do open houses in that farm. And what I really like is you could do just listed, just sold calls in that farm. But I recommend doing all of them to win that mind share of that particular farm. Go small, do not go big. Start with 250 homes. And when you get that first commission check that you've earned from that, then reinvest that money to increase that farm. Where I've always failed personally is I always want to go big first, and then I fail with the financials behind it and staying consistent. So you're better off going small on the farm and being consistent over time, and then growing the farm from there.
Dan, can I say one thing?
Yes, ma'am. Of course you can, Barbara.
When you are doing a farm, become an expert, because the people in that farm are going to ask you questions about their neighborhood. And if you know off the top of your head what sold and how much and when, that makes you the expert. So become an expert in that area.
Great input, Barbara. That's fantastic. And, I will say for Barbara's farm market, she probably, and Barb, you could always correct me. You're always welcome to correct me. There's probably 40 homes selling out of her farm per year. And then when you see how many homes are selling in a farm area, guys, here's the number one thing to remember. If 40 homes sell in a community per year, that means there's 80 commission checks. 80 commission checks are floating around, because you always have there's 2 commission checks to each side. So just remember that. But look for high turnover areas. Very, very important. I've seen people choose a farm in, let's pretend, a high-rise condo along the shore, and I'll sit with that person and say, you're going to mail 300 people in that high-rise, and only 4 sell per year, and the 4 that sell per year have been dominated by one agent that lives in the building for the last 25 years. Is that a good investment on our money? The answer is no. Look for high turnover neighborhoods, very important, and not dominated by one agent. You're looking for diversity in the agents that are selling in that community, because then it's easier to win that mind share for that farm. Any questions about that, guys?
There was a text question. I'd like to answer that. Somebody asked if you can do door hangers in the farm area. It depends on your farm area. Many of them are wide open, and you can do door knocking and hang things. Just be careful with the plan unit developments. You cannot do it. So you don't want to go into like an association and try to do it. But most places that I've farmed in the past, you can do it. And if you do leave them a door hanger, make sure you leave them something of value, a free.
Barbara, awesome. Great job on that. I'm going to take that question 2 steps further. And by the way, Barb, thanks for bringing to my attention there was a question. If anyone sends a question through this software program, Barbara, tell me about it, because I don't know how to look at it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
do a call to action on any hanger or postcard. Drive them to a landing page. Drive them to a landing page if you're doing direct mail, and your direct mail pieces should have a call to action and maybe some statistical facts. I just saw a beautiful brochure that an agent had been mailing to a farm probably for about 15 years. And what she does every month is literally brands herself as the expert in the neighborhood, and then she just lets the people know about every sale, even though she didn't make the sales herself. But people will associate her beautiful face, her beautiful phone number, and those sales that she's being active in the market. So with branding, perception is reality. Just remember that. All right, that was number 2, guys. This is number 3. And I would highly recommend, if you're not doing it already, through Facebook advertising, do home valuation marketing. What is that? You could target a farm through Facebook, an electronic farm, and go after people looking for a home value on their property. Take them to a landing page where they leave their digital footprint, or fingerprint rather. Footprints are good too. But fingerprint with their name, their phone number, their email address, and then make sure you follow up with them to give them a free analysis. And you're now following up with them because they're part of your, I believe, your center of influence. So now you could call them every month, say, hey, it's Dan. I know you filled out a property valuation a month ago. I know you said in your comments section you're not looking to sell for 6 months, but I just wanted to say hello. I'm here if you need some help, and I hope you're having a great I hope you have a great Labor Day weekend. Have a wonderful one. Doesn't have to be salesy. It could be just, hey, checking in. Most of my communication these days, guys, is, hey, just checking in. Hope you're well. Hope you're doing great. Enjoy the holiday weekend. Oh, by the way, if you need help in any way, shape, or form, I'm here. That's it. You don't have to be like, oh, when are you ready to list? Nah, people don't like that these days. So online home valuations through Facebook marketing, drop them on a landing page. I do believe, guys, that Command offers landing pages in which you can drop them into. But the most important part of that strategy is being consistent in your follow-up. And I'll just give you a quick nugget on follow-up. There's an old military analogy called by land, by air, by sea. What that means is that you're attacking the enemy from all 3 different locations. In marketing, use that same principle. So when I follow up with a possible seller or buyer lead, I'm always thinking by land, by air, by sea, which means I'm leaving a voicemail or talking to them directly. I'm sending them a text message, and I'm shooting them an email. Why do I do? And let me add one more. Maybe a DM through Facebook or Instagram. Why do I do that? It's going to be the same message. Hey, just checking in with you. Have a great Labor Day. Hope you guys are well. But some people like to communicate in one way, but not the other. So hit them on the same message across all 4 or 5 different channels of communication. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
It does. Great, great, great. Any questions about property valuations?
My question is how to find neighborhoods, what to look for in MLS.
Awesome, awesome question. So if you go to your MLS, there is a company that our local board of realtors has contract called Realist. Does anyone know about Realist or how to get to Realist?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Learn it and master it. It is probably the best farming software out there. And you can choose neighborhoods through Realist. I think it even now has a mapping function where you could draw a polygon line around a particular neighborhood, hit a few buttons, and a list will pop out for you. So great question. Definitely use Realist to create your farm. So that was number 3. Number 4, mail for sale by owners. If you guys are not sending a piece of mail to for sale by owners in this market, you guys are absolutely crazy. Every 7 days, mail them a piece of mail. It could be a letter, it could be a postcard, it could be anything. But if you guys have call reluctance, which is fine, especially if you're just starting out in the business, you at a minimum should be getting a piece of mail out to a for sale by owner every week. And guess what? There's 1,500 licensed realtors in our local board of realtors. And I can promise you, that for sale by owners may be getting 3 to 4 pieces of mail, if that. So what does that mean? If 1,500 people aren't sending mail, but 4 are, 5 are, 6 are, 7 are, maybe Keller Williams does, the whole entire office after this call, you guys are going to have a better opportunity to get your foot in the door. Now, all you're looking to do with a for sale by owner is get your foot in the door. It's not a high pressure sales call. It's a, hey, let me come by. I'm working with some folks in your neighborhood. Would you mind if I previewed your home? Just in case one of my clients may have interest. This way I could have an intelligent conversation with them. I will tell you right now, 98% of those people that either you call proactively or they call you on a postcard will let you through their home. Once you get through their home, guys, there's only going to be 2 to 3 agents that preview, and now you've got a very large percentage chance of earning that business.
I have a question. Where's the best way to find that? Am I just jumping on Zillow and looking for the ones that are for sale by owner?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, Michelle. Thank you. So Zillow, the enemy, has probably the best technology for getting for sale by owner leads, okay? Because where do 99.999% of for sale by owners go to advertise their house? 5, 6, 7 years ago, it used to be the newspaper. Now it's all Zillow. So use Zillow to your benefit, the big bad wolf. Use Zillow to your benefit to create your list. Now, here's the best part about it. Zillow and for sale by owners also advertise their personal cell phone number. 99.999%. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to create a for sale by owner farm with a name, an address, and a cell phone number. And this even gets better, guys. Many of them put their email address in. So check this out. I got a name, and if I don't have a name, I'm going to look up the property address in Realist that you get for free through our board of realtors and through the multiple listing service. I'm going to enter that lead in command. I'm going to tag it as a for sale by owner. I'm going to send a piece of mail out directly through command, which I just learned from our awesome pro coach, Dan Mitchell, for 57 cents per postcard. And I'm going to click a few buttons. They're going to get that piece of mail. And guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to call them every Monday to see how their open house went and how they're doing with their marketing. And I'm going to offer them some marketing tips. So, hey, I just wanted to check in on how your open house went this weekend. If you need any free advice or marketing tips, I'm here for you. Would you like me to send out a free report on 15 ways to get more buyers through your house? Of course they want that. So you want to be a resource to them. You want to reach out to them incredibly frequently, and you want to get that preview. Now, 6 months ago, you can follow up with them, maybe twice a month. Now I'm going to tell you 1 to 2 times per week, because guess what? For sale by owners are actually selling. And they're selling them on their own. So be more proactive with your follow-up. Not necessarily your sales pitch, but definitely your follow-up. So what are we going to do today, guys? As an office, as a team, as a group, we're going to go to Zillow. We're going to learn how to pull for sale by owners off of Zillow. It's a free lead, F-R-E-E. Get it into our command system, properly tag it, properly fill out all their information, and we're going to send a piece of mail to that for sale by owner. And if we're courageous enough, We're going to give them a call. By the way, for sale by owners usually are probably the nicest people on the phone that I found, because what are they looking to do? They're looking to talk to people about their house. Would anyone like a quick script on a for sale by owner, or you guys all have that already through your KW stuff?
Let's hear
Go
it.
for it, Dan.
Yeah, I'll take one.
All right.
I like
So
to
my script is super easy. Hey there, it's Dan Rallo. I was calling about your house at 18 Main Street. And, you know, it looks like an absolutely gorgeous home. It's a shame you actually have to sell it. Hey, real quick, would you mind telling me a little bit more about the property? That's my script. And once they start talking, because by the way, they're going to talk your ear off for about 10 minutes about all the amazing improvements that they've made to their house. Why do I do that? Do I really necessarily care about the improvements that they've made? The answer is no. What I care about is getting their listing. But it's going to get me into rapport with them. So once I hear they just replaced all their windows with Andersons, I'm going to just say, oh my God, that sounds absolutely amazing. That is so cool that you just put in a brand new kitchen. And they're hearing me say that to them, and they are feeling very warm and fuzzy. Why in the world would any for sale by owner not want a top performing agent at the #1 real estate office in South Jersey, not want them through their house? Makes no sense, right? So if you think about it logically, if I'm a for sale by owner, of course I want a real estate professional to come into my home, because what do we as full-time real estate professionals do? We work with well-qualified, pre-qualified buyers. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Take advantage of the FSBOs, because here's the thing in a strong market. Barbara Morgan knows this. Nancy Van Riper knows this. Is in a strong market, expired listings go way down, but for sale by owners go way up. So spend your time and your money and your energy on for sale by owners in this crazy, crazy market.
Fastest source of business.
I'm sorry, Barb?
FSBO stands for fastest source of business opportunity.
I love it. Great job. Great comment on that. Okay, number five. Real estate investors. So this blew my mind last night at 10:30 as I was just thinking about what I was going to present to you guys. So real estate investors, what have we always been doing for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20 years? We're looking for real estate investors to what? Buy properties, right?
Yep.
Has anyone been struggling with an investor with getting a bid accepted by a REO company or a listing agent or HUD or whatever? I'll be the first to raise my hand. The answer is I've almost found it to be impossible, right?
It's tough.
Here's what I'm going to tell you about investors. Don't go for them to buy more properties. Ask them to cash out of the massive amount of profit they've made from the investments they bought 2, 3, 4, 5 years ago. People holding real estate rentals, right? Unload it. This is the time to sell. What's the buy low, sell high? Well, guess what, guys? I believe the statistic is, and I'm sure Dan will correct me if I'm incorrect here, but Sean O'Brien mentioned it a few weeks ago. We are at 2006 inventory levels. That was the absolute peak of the market historically, probably over the last 30 some odd years. So people want to cash out and take profit, just like the stock market. You see these huge run-ups in the Dow Jones Industrial Average and the S&P 500, and then you see a massive sell-off. Why do we see the massive sell-off? It's because people are taking their profit. Find investors. Tell them, if I could get your home sold in the next 2 weeks at a price that you would never even possibly imagine, would you allow me a 30-day opportunity to get that property sold for you? Their ears are going to open. People are going to consider it. I've been offering 30-day listings across the board to sellers right now because I only need a week right now, to be perfectly honest with you. So most sellers hesitate to do business because of the 6-month contract. Well, guess what? Give them a 30-day contract. You'll have the property sold. So real estate investors, There are ways to go into Realist and see in a particular zip code or neighborhood people with multiple holdings or limited liability companies. That's a good way to start trying to find investors that may want to sell their properties. You guys getting value out of this call today?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, cool.
Wait, how would you find the investors again?
I would recommend going to Realist, and what
Mhm.
you can do is if you pull up a zip code or a neighborhood in Realist and you do a sort alphabetically. I found a guy with 28 properties, a former senator out of Pennsylvania, and he's listing all 28 condos with me all along the coastline. He wants to dump them all. He's held them for 20 years. They're all tenant rented, and I'm shopping it around to New York City investors right now. So I did a search, and I see one name with 28 holdings. I'm calling the dude, and I'm saying, hey, would you like to sell that sucker for top dollar? His answer is absolutely. He called me at the perfect time. Guy's in his 70s. He's looking to retire. A lot of investors who have been holding properties for the last decade or were underwater from the real estate crash of 2008, this is their time to get out, to make money, or even break even. So go for it. I'm not saying drop your investors looking for flips, but I can promise you right now, it's that's difficult. You know, again, you guys probably know this all better than I do, but social media is also a powerful tool to use to pull investors out of the woodwork. I believe you could target in Facebook through the back end of the marketing, literally people that are interested in real estate or invest in real estate. Just a nugget on that one. All you Facebook and Instagram guys will probably know how to find that better, but definitely a way to get some investors to dump their properties. And remember what I said, guys. I'm going to leave you with a resource before I let you go, so I'm not going to leave you all hanging going, yeah, great ideas, Dan, but I have no clue how to do this. I promise I'm going to leave that golden nugget for you. Homes with equity. So you guys can absolutely 100% unequivocally purchase lists of homes literally that have no mortgages on them. 100% equity properties. I'm going after those people right now. 100% equity properties. People that own their homes free and clear. People that own their homes free and clear with no mortgages in a market that we've never seen in over 15 years. Do you think there's a possibility they may want to sell and cash out? 100%. So homes with equity, homes with equity. Homes that are in probate. Does anyone know what probate is?
Yeah.
When you pass away, if you don't have a trust set up, a living trust, that's a whole nother topic and a whole nother class for a different day, which my uncle's slapping me around right now, making me set up a trust. But if you die without a trust, you're probably going to go through what they call a probate with the court systems to distribute your assets according to your will. Well, guess what? That becomes public record. Guys, if you're not going after probate right now, you're nuts. These are people that have to sell. They died. Their kids have been left the house. Usually there's multiple kids and they're all fighting because one gets dumped with the responsibility of having to dispose of the asset. If you could come side by side with that person and offer your help as a real estate professional, it's an amazing source of business. It's an amazing source of business. And don't just go after their listing. Offer services on how to help them do a trash out. Offer them services how to do a yard sale. Offer them services how to do clean outs. There's liquidation companies. Learn these companies locally. That's pieces of value that you could help them take this tremendous burden off their back. And then guess who's going to get the listing afterwards? Go after probate, guys. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing opportunity and source of business. And then finally, I'm going to leave you with one more idea, and that is vacant homes. Vacant homes. Again, you guys could buy lists of properties that are empty and not paying taxes. Empty and not paying taxes. People have properties they don't pay taxes on. They literally don't live there. They're just sitting around. They're ready to be sold. But sometimes people, just as human beings, don't know what they don't know. And sometimes psychologically have barriers that we could help them get past to sell the property and take that money and put it into a better performing asset. So vacant homes, another source of business. Now, we went over 8 or 9 today. Look at each one of these as a separate piece of business. So get yourself organized. I would recommend you don't go after all 9 or 8, go after 2 or 3, and then grow it from there. I know that was a lot of information, but these are different ideas, different ways to get listings. Any questions about that or any other ideas someone wants to throw out at me?
Great content, Dan.
Thank
I
you.
just have a question of where do you find these lists to purchase that you're
All
talking?
right. So Nance, like I promised all of you today, I'm going to give this, and I should get a commission from this company.
That's right,
I'm
you
not,
should.
although I'm not. So the company that I have found that can help you guys, and there's not going to be one perfect company, by the way, but I'll encourage you today to check out a website called that's MY, REI, that's Robert Edward Ida, Pro, that's PRO.com, myreopro.com. Now, quick disclosure, this resource is used heavily with investors. These are where investors are finding inventory outside of the MLS and outside of bank codes. But as a real estate professional, we can help these people with vacant homes, with probate, homes with equity, sell their home for a heck of a lot more than what an investor is going to pay for it, right? So this is an option for now. Here's what I'd also recommend, guys. Those investors that we all have in our databases, if the seller is willing to sell the house at a ridiculous price super quickly, then either you buy it yourself or you have your investor buy it, and then you guys are going to make the commission on the out sale. So there's 2 ways to approach a probate. There's 2 ways to approach a home with equity. There's 2 ways to approach a vacant home. And that is, hey, we've got cash buyers, or I'm a cash buyer. Or listen, if you don't want to sell your home in 2 weeks and you give me 30 days, I could probably sell it for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 more than an investor will offer to you. So you have 2 ways to approach those opportunities. myreopro.com. So I did tell you guys I was not going to leave you hanging. I think it's a great resource. Take advantage of Command as well as a resource. And if you guys have any questions, I'm here to answer them, or maybe someone else in the chat might be able to answer them. And by the way, I'm on Zoom here, which is technology, and I don't know other than how to get my face on this camera here. So if you have any questions, just speak out loud.
Dan.
Yes, Kankisha.
REO or REI?
REI, Robert Edward Ida. I'm sorry if I said REO.
Okay.
It's myreipro.com. myreopro.com. Good
Thanks,
question.
Dan. Great
Thank
content.
Yes,
Appreciate
very
it.
Thank you
great.
guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you all so very much. And again, I do apologize for missing last month's class. Hopefully you guys take some mercy on me.
It was worth the
I
wait.
have one question.
It was worth it, yes.
It was worth the
Thank
wait,
you.
Dan.
Great class.
All right,
Thank you.
guys. See y'all.